Our social affairs and education editor, Afua Hirsch, who carried out the investigation, and also parenting specialist Elizabeth O'Shea from Parent for Success. Hello to you both. Afua, I mean, this is truly shocking findings. I mean, it's a real problem for teachers, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I just want to reiterate that this is a problem. This is a story about schools, because many parents have contacted us and said, you know, my child has a problem with bedwetting and it's a psychological problem and it needs specialist help to resolve. And that's true. And this isn't in any way to demonise children who have bedwetting problems. But we ask teachers how many children are wearing nappies to school. And so our research is very much about nappy wearing in the classroom and the impact that's having on learning, because teachers are having to take time out of class to change nappies, and apart from anything else they don't feel that's their job. That creates all kinds of social and emotional issues for children, feeling so alienated that they can't use the toilet. And then there's this separate thing that these products have sprung up to address this demand, and you can go to any mainstream supermarket, they stock nappies for children up to the age of 15, and they're not marketed as specialist products for children with any kind of problem. They're marketed as a kind of lifestyle choice, with pictures of skateboarding, you know, or pretty designs for girls. And parents are saying, well, you know, I haven't managed to toilet train my child, but it's fine because he can or she can wear these products that we buy with our weekly shop.
Elizabeth, what do you make of it all? I mean, it's quite simply lazy parenting, isn't it?
It's not always lazy parenting. To start with, often the parents are working, so they don't always have the initial impetus to actually get their child potty trained. What eventually happens, though, is it becomes a lack of confidence, and they're thinking, it's sort of like, when do we tackle it? You know, they're still wearing the nappy at 4. Do we have to do it before they start school? If they haven't done it before they start school, what happens? What's really important is to understand the psychological damage it does to the children, because children can get bullied for it. They don't feel the same as their other friends in the playground. They're embarrassed about it, and it's really affecting their ability to feel like normal children and able to do things for themselves.
And Afua, I mean, it's the ages that they go up to, isn't it? I mean, you just about understand, I suppose, that, you know, a child just going to school perhaps isn't entirely toilet trained, but, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's been suggested that almost once you get to a certain point and you're not toilet trained, you kind of lose the incentive to do anything about it. And I mean, it was interesting as well, because typically you hear that with younger children it's boys who take longer to learn to use the toilet, but the teachers were telling us that as you get older and you get into teenagers, it's girls who are still wearing pull-ups. And it's just very difficult to imagine that you're a teenager, you want to date and, you know, do teenage things, and, you know, you're wearing pull-ups or nappies. It's a quite difficult thing to get your head
What's the
around.
advice, Elizabeth, if you are, as a parent, having difficulties with the old potty and toilet training? I mean, isn't the argument to say is that it's far better than changing nappies, isn't it? You know, whatever you've got to go through.
Yes, however, when you think about it, if you have a pull-up, it's a lot easier to change the mess from a pull-up than it is to change the mess from a carpet or a sofa or something else. And that's the convenience that these parents are being encouraged to use. When you talk about the smell, there's very little smell from one of these nappies. So the children, it's becoming, it's part of a lifestyle choice, but it's wrong. It's wrong for the children and it's wrong for the parents. And parents are losing their ability to stay in charge and be a proper parent if they're not addressing that issue.
I mean, you know, what's the best advice? What's a good age to start at, and how long does it on average take? I know every child is different.
Okay, you can start from 18 months.
Okay.
Very few children are potty trained at 18 months, but some children get that understanding, so that's fine. Normally between the ages of 2 and 3, most parents start potty training. The older the child is, normally the quicker it is. Once they have that ability to manage it and sort of like understand what's going on around them, then normally by the age of 3. Some children maybe 3.5, but by the time they're starting nursery and going to school, they should definitely be potty trained.
Okay, and Afua, what, I mean, this issue of the manufacturers, they would say, I'm no defender of them, but I mean, they would presumably say that all they're doing is catering to demand, not creating the market.
It's a big issue, the nature of the products as well, for all children, I think, because talking about potty training younger children, a lot of parents say that these products are so effective now, it's actually harder to toilet train children because they can't feel when they've wet themselves because it's so absorbent, there's no smell. And as you get into older children, I think this is an issue as well. They're such effective products that it makes it a hidden problem, and that actually in the longer term makes it harder to address.
Well, Afua, thanks so lot for that, and thanks very much for that sound advice there. Elizabeth O'Shea there from Parent for Success. Now then,